how many filters I have on this video, you wouldn't fucking believe it. How many filters I have on this video, you wouldn't fucking believe it if I told you. If I told you I have 0 filters on this video, you would be pissed off. And that is the answer. I have 0 filters. I'm this fine in real life. This is my real face. You see that? It doesn't change. I have 0 filters. I'm this fine. I have 0 filters. I'm this fine. I have 0 filters. I'm this fine in real life. This is my real face. You see that? It doesn't change. It does. I've had this scar here since I was 22 years old from a headbutt against Hannah Gabriels. So yeah, I have no filter on. This is my natural, glistening, beautiful, moisturized skin, and this is my beautiful face. You got me? All right. Oh, and no makeup. All right. All right. All right. Oh, and no makeup. No eyelashes. No eyebrows. Just my face today. You don't like it? You gotta go. And then, now you're mad and you're saying it's a wig? Guess what? It's a sew-in. So you was close, but you were wrong. Sew-in, baby. I don't know why you come on here asking how many filters I got on, but guess what? None. I bet that made you feel sick, didn't it? I bet that made you feel sick, didn't it? I bet that made you feel sick, didn't it? Toaster, you being stupid. 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 Y'all put your glasses up. Toast to that person being stupid. Y'all put your glasses up. Toast to that person being stupid. Y'all put your glasses up. Toast to that person being stupid.
Oh boy. Hood champion. What you got going on today, man? I haven't seen you the last couple of days, man. You normally drop your little Claressa Shields videos. Well, y'all gonna get the bonus plan. This is the first one. I'm gonna do 4 more, then I'm going fishing. Y'all know I'm busy, man. Got a full house, so I'm busy. So I get the videos in where I can. But that being said, Claressa says she don't have any filters on. One thing she has is a growing problem where fans don't like her. Fans hate her. And I am seeing boxing, I'm not talking about any other content creator, boxing content creators, guys who are here just only talk about boxers, right? They're kind of getting caught up in the bullshit. And one guy in particular hit me up. He was like, yo, man, I regret ever doing a video on Claressa Shields because now these, all these people are coming in there, man, and trolling my comments and saying these things. And I just started laughing. And it's like, well, it's kind of how it goes. You know what I'm saying? But I got a video here, man. Why do people? Matter of fact, let me tell you why people hate Claressa Shields. Okay. Now I'm looking at something here real quick. This number, okay. So it looks like they're at, as this is continuing to think, 3,979. So just about 4,000 people have signed the petition. Okay, well, it's gaining momentum, all right? But you see how Claressa put out that video right there, and she's done lives, and she's always talking about different things. Claressa has upset people. And some people like her, some people don't. But what you see happening here is Claressa being hated. Now, whether you agree or you don't agree, it is what it is at this point. But why do fans and just people dislike certain, I'm going to purposely use this adjective, successful people. Because Claressa, she's successful, right? I think the topic goes way beyond sports. But Claressa's an athlete, so we're going to kind of keep it there. But I know this, throughout history, society has repeatedly shown admiration for confidence, for ambition, for competitiveness, and in success. If Claressa was only focused on those four things, being confident, being ambitious, willing to compete, and just be successful, she would have all the support in the world. But this is why I feel there's been a line drawn. Because where admiration can turn into resentment, discomfort, fear, and rejection. And that's what's happened to Claressa. You see, when someone becomes highly successful, right, publicly aggressive, insulting, emotionally volatile, hypocritical, or they're bullying, people often react very strongly. Psychologically, that's why you see this petition. I don't know who put that petition out, but that's somebody out there with some brain on them that said, oh, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how to get things going. We're going to take this to another level. And that dynamic that we're seeing, this shit appears everywhere. Sports, entertainment, politics. I think they got a petition on Trump. Workplaces, schools, and even family structures. So the key thing to understand is people rarely dislike someone for only one reason. You know what I mean? It may be something they do and you talk about it and leave it alone. But usually it becomes a combination of behaviors, emotional reactions, moral judgments, and repeated negative patterns over time. This is Claressa Shields. And this is my opinion, right? Because what I noticed is fans began forming emotional opinions, not just about her talent, but also her character, morality, emotional stability, her authenticity, and what she claimed she had was she was a leader and she had leadership qualities, right? That's what she said. Now, this is especially true for athletes viewed as champions, Claressa, role models. She said she was, at least we thought she was going that direction for that moment when she went up there and was helping them young girls learn how to box. I think she was in Dallas. She was seen as an icon. Some people still see her that way. And as far as a representative of the community back in Flint, I think she was viewed that way. She has her own street. But a lot of people say, no, okay, she's spending so much time into being on the internet and creating drama. Why is she, continuing to draw attention to the Flint water crisis and help out her city? But I'm going to tell you this. This is the problem, because I had to understand when it comes to certain people, they're going to be who they are. And with Claressa Shields, she's going to be what she is. Because I looked at her, just like a lot of you all looked at her, as someone who had reached superstar status in the Olympics and reached superstar status as a professional boxer. So I think subconsciously, we all expected maturity, discipline, emotional control, accountability, and consistency. But when public behavior repeatedly contradicts those expectations, backlash often grows. And that's what seemed to have happened to Claressa Shields. The backlash is so great to where, when you got the age range from, like, I would say 18 to 85 years old, talking about Claressa Shields, that's not good. You know what I'm saying? Because they're caught up in the drama. They're like, what is this woman's problem? Let me tell you something, man. Nobody likes a bully. No one likes toxic personalities. 20 things that I think are reasons why Claressa is being disliked. How about this? Constant insulting of others. People naturally become emotionally exhausted around individuals who constantly attack, mock, disrespect, humiliate others, or try to humiliate others. Even fans who initially enjoy confidence eventually grow uncomfortable if negativity becomes nonstop. Can Claressa wear that hat? You know what I'm saying? Or do you know someone who can wear that hat? because I think Claressa can wear that hat. She has attacked people. She's mocked people. She's disrespected people. She's gone out her way to humiliate others. Professional athletes, as well as just, I would say, boxing fans and observers. Then hypocrisy is another thing I think that creates an issue for people. One of the fastest ways to lose respect, especially with the public, is appearing morally inconsistent. Examples: preaching positivity while acting aggressively, sitting there talking about, because I don't want to offend nobody, but talking about God and Jesus and the Bible, and then coming out here acting like a goddamn devil. You can't be mentioning religion while displaying cruelty, people. Hood Champion isn't the most religious person in the world. I grew up, I know a lot about religion. I'll leave it to you that way. If you follow the channel, you've heard me talk about things. But I tell you one thing I know. If you are here mentioning religion and you're displaying cruelty, people are going to judge you. And there's a lot of people who do that. That's what, for me, who am I? But I tell you, I can't take you serious. And then when you're out here demanding respect while you're disrespecting others, it's just not going to work out when it comes to fans. And they will start to hate your ass. People psychologically react very strongly to perceived hypocrisy. Can you put the hypocrisy hat, or I'm going to say the jacket, on Claressa Shields? Then how about this? Success without humility. Now, I know society often accepts confidence. We don't have a problem with confidence. We don't have a problem with someone being a little bit chippy. Nothing wrong with being a little chippy. I think we all have some of that in us. Some more than others, but I think we all can be a little bit chippy depending on what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like if I go to get fried rice and chicken wings and they won't give me no soy sauce. I'm getting chippy because I want soy sauce. They're getting chippy because they don't want to give no extra soy sauce. So all hell could break loose up in there at Lu Fang's Chinese motherfucking restaurant. But what I'm getting at, society often accepts confidence. But when confidence becomes arrogance, can you put that jacket on Claressa Shields? Superiority. I'm better than, I'm okay, you not okay. Can you put that jacket on Claressa Shields? Or contempt of others. Can you put that jacket on Claressa Shields? The resentment increases quickly. And that is what the vibe I'm getting from all the people out here who are watching this. Especially when the person constantly reminds people of their status or their success. Now, can you put that jacket on Claressa Shields? I mean, well, hold on. Maybe Hood Champion's wrong. Claressa's not the kind of person who will come out here and remind anybody about her status, her success. $8 million? Oh, no, she wouldn't do that. To that I say in the most respectful way, hey, yo, you McNicholas, hold your horses and stop taking it to the goddamn stupid. Claressa wouldn't dare. She wouldn't dare. Success devoid of humility. Can you put that jacket on Claressa Shields? How about number 4? Public aggression. There's no way in the world we could put that jacket on her, can we? Repeated references to violence. Punch you in the mouth. Assault. Intimidation. Yeah, when I come in the room, yeah, I let people know not to mess with me. Then once I get to know you, if you're all right, then I kind of retract the quills, but I keep my quills out. Now I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what she says. She don't let nobody get comfortable with her. She more comes off in an intimidating fashion. Or how about hurting people? That can make audiences feel emotionally unsafe to disturb, huh? Could be why she got her ass banned from attending any future MVP events until further notice. If I'm making it up, then y'all tell me. Even if meant emotionally or jokingly, I'm just telling y'all, man, repeated violent language affects public perception heavily. Can you put the public aggression jacket on Claressa Shields? So there's 4 reasons why people hate her. Then number 5. How about this, right? Bullying weaker people. Can we put that jacket on Claressa Shields? People especially dislike behavior perceived as targeting weaker individuals. Has Claressa done anything to make us feel she's targeted and tried to bully someone smaller than her, weaker than her, that she knows she can beat? Y'all leave that in the comments. Has she shown any kind of behavior perceived as targeting children? Type it in the chat. Leave it in the comments. Has she shown any behavior perceived as targeting smaller people? Has she shown any behavior perceived as targeting vulnerable groups? You see, when you start talking about the mental of someone doing that shit, that's not healthy. And I'm gonna tell you that shit's not normal, right? If so, everybody would be doing it, but not everybody does. So that's not normal. And I think when you really try to understand this, we're watching this and we're trying to process this shit. And as humans, we're strongly rejecting this perceived abuse of power that some of these athletes have and Claressa has shown. It's to the point to where we're sitting here wondering, how in the hell has she been allowed to run around here just being so catastrophic? Like, how has that been allowed? So number 5, bullying weaker people. Has Claressa been allowed to do that? Children, weaker individuals, smaller people, vulnerable groups. You know what I'm saying? Can you put that jacket on her? And number 6, lack of emotional control. This is my list, all right? Can you put that jacket on Claressa Shields? Lack of emotional control. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I respect somebody who's passionate. We as fans admire passion. We do. There's nothing wrong with Claressa being passionate. But when you have someone who repeatedly appears explosive, unstable, reactive, offensive, unable to regulate anger, many people stop viewing the behavior as strength and start viewing it as dangerous or exhausting. Can you put number 6, lack of emotional control? Can you put that jacket on Claressa Shields? Has anything happened to make you feel she's displayed consistently a lack of emotional control? Leave it in the chat. Leave it in the comments. Number 7, Hood Champions, 20 reasons why Claressa is hated. Playing the victim while attacking others. Oh no! Throw a rock and hide your hand. Taking it to the stupid. Has Claressa ever done this? Do you know people who do this? Because I can tell you from listening to the fans and listening to the ladies since August of last year, they became frustrated, and people become frustrated when someone aggressively attacks others while simultaneously portraying themselves as constantly oppressed or unfairly targeted. Like, yo, man, you get out of this victim stance when your ass is the aggressor. There's a lot of people out here who play that shit. Smart people know what's really going on, but the other ones can be a bit naive. But when it comes to Claressa, playing the victim while attacking others, isn't that what happened up there with Franchon? She's trying to throw the fight. She's trying to throw the fight. She headbutt me. Then Alicia, she threatened me. And I'm not gonna let no one threaten me. She threatened me. And there's more, right? The contradiction creates emotional distrust from fans. Can you put number 7, playing the victim while attacking others? Can you put that jacket on Claressa Shields? And how about using social division for attention? Like talking about race. Is this Claressa? And some of her fans, they want to talk about race? How about colorism? Hair texture, complexion, eyes. Anything that falls underneath the colorism umbrella. Has that been talked about and that narrative been pushed by Claressa? Any red bones in here? Any red bones? That really set it off with a lot of women, boy. And red bones. Old soul pretty Layla, who got good hair. A bunch of dumb bullshit. Because I ain't got time for that racial shit, and I ain't got time for colorism. Love all, hate none, man. Can't question the way God made you. You'll be a miserable ass person. How about level of attractiveness? Huh? Does that create social division? Has that been pushed? How about identity? How about social injustice? Because I'm a black woman, a dark-skinned black woman. Yo, there's a lot of women in here, man, who came out and talked. They're like, I'm brown. First, Claressa has brown skin. She ain't dark. And I have brown skin like her. I'm darker than her. And that's bullshit what she's talking. But I have heard others who say, no, we agree with what she's saying. I'm going to tell you, I never walked in her shoes. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things y'all know I don't comment on because I ain't a female. I let the ladies talk. But I can tell you, out of maybe 100 women who I talk to, maybe out of the 100, maybe 4 said they felt that Claressa was justified talking about this whole thing about her being judged and treated a kind of way because of her color. The other 96 said, no, it's because of her fucking attitude. And I hear both of them. I understand both. But I agree with the ones who talk about the attitude. Because attitude is everything. You see, you can't become extremely sensitive publicly and start pushing that crap out about race, colorism, attractiveness, identity, social injustice. I'm the victim. When fans feel someone weaponizes those conversations emotionally or inconsistently, backlash intensifies dramatically. And that really has people putting a foot up Claressa Shields' ass because they don't like that. They don't like that. We all know how the society can be towards women, especially minorities. We know. But don't come out here trying to create divide and be divisive and push the colorism thing or race thing when you have one of the worst attitudes in popular public opinion when it comes to sports, especially in boxing. So can you put the using social division for attention jacket on Claressa, number 8? Now, number 9, jealousy and comparison energy. Has Claressa displayed any kind of behavior to make you think she's jealous of somebody? Trying to compare to somebody? Trying to dress like somebody? Trying to talk like somebody? Trying to wear jewelry like somebody? Trying to rap like somebody? I mean, I'm just asking, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not saying that I know of anything like that. I'm just put it in the chat or put it in the comments. Because, I listen to the ladies. And I ain't blind either, goddammit, because I see the stuff that gets sent to me. And I've been watching it since August last year. People can sense when public figures appear obsessed with rivals or obsessed with their wives, emotionally consumed by comparison, or desperate for validation. Let me tell you something. Can you put the jealousy and comparison energy jacket on Claressa Shields? Has she done anything to make you feel she has shown obsession with a rival, irregardless of weight class? Has she done anything to appear emotionally consumed by comparisons with other women? Has she appeared maybe desperate for validation? And you see, this can create secondhand discomfort for audiences. Because you watch it and you start saying, man, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it can come off as like being obsessed with people. But it's like I always say, never question the way the big man made you, and you are what you are. So can you put the jealousy and comparison jacket on Claressa Shields, number 9? Number 10, constant drama. Oh, Lord have mercy, man. Humans naturally tolerate occasional controversy, especially when it comes to the sport of boxing. We know it's going to be a little bit of controversy, a little bit of drama. It's boxing. They fight. They get in the ring. You know what they do? They try to basically, kill each other. They're going to beat you until you get knocked out, rendered unconscious, or you quit, or your corner stops it, or the referee stops it. No matter what, the objective is to inflict as much pain and damage to each other until basically someone can't function anymore. And if they die, they die. That's boxing. But nonstop chaos eventually creates emotional fatigue. Can you put the constant drama number 10 jacket on Claressa Shields? Has she given us nonstop chaos? And have we developed emotional fatigue? Because at some point, the boxing audience, and I know not everyone here is a boxing fan, but I'm going to just consider y'all a boxing audience because you guys are now watching Claressa, who's a boxer. They start seeing the strong personality. They start seeing toxic environment. When Claressa's in the building, what does she do to the environment? Shit turns toxic. Popular opinion. I'm not speaking facts, I'm speaking opinions. Okay? So can she wear that jacket number 10, constant drama? Then lack of accountability. Can she wear that jacket number 11? People generally forgive mistakes more easily when someone apologizes. Claressa apologized to anybody about anything? She apologized to Layla? She apologized to Franchon? Franchon! Man, please, bullshit. Her champion, here he go again. Someone, I wish he would just stay quiet. Go on and go goddamn fish and quit talking about me. Papoose, pap, pap, brrr. Got him going, goddamn it. You see, people will generally forgive mistakes more easily when people apologize, they reflect, accept responsibility, take accountability. But you see, this whole thing about this defensiveness without accountability, it worsens public backlash. That's been Claressa the whole time. On the defensive. She there blocking and all kind of shit. No accountability, you know what I'm saying? It's horrible. And that's one of the, I think, the biggest downfalls to Claressa Shields is a lack of accountability. So can she wear that jacket number 11 on her? Then number 12 is moral contradictions. Fans become uncomfortable when someone publicly promotes morality, family values, spirituality, or righteousness while appearing to behave in ways that strongly contradict those messages. That's why I heard the ladies, they were going off in here when she was out here playing the Sister Renee thing. I don't even feel like playing it because it's just ridiculous. That's why. It's ridiculous. But you can't come out here, man, one day again, acting like you got the devil in you, but trying to push this morality and talk about family values and spirituality and righteousness. The audience is watching. They're like, yo, you contradicting all those messages with the way that you're conducting yourself. In addition to that, we still want to start talking about religion and the women. Like, that's the wrong thing to talk about with this audience. Because they're like, okay, what the Bible say about marriage? You know, I listen. Now, some of the women, like most of them here, they're on top of their shit. They know this ain't the audience to play with. And that I think is the number one thing that has set Claressa back with a lot of fans. Is it her and Papoose, that relationship and how that union came to be. Now, y'all know I don't follow none of the bullshit. But I've been listening since August, and, you know, everyone who brings it up, they're like, Hood, this is what happened. She was supposed to be, you know, she befriended Remy, fashion tips, etc. All we know, something led to something. Now she ended up with Papoose. And the women they're not feeling that. They don't respect that at all. They don't respect it. That's the number one thing that keeps coming up. They don't like Claressa for that shit. They don't respect it because they look at themselves, and I'm going off what they've told me, like, some women have been through that, and they're like, man, they're trying to imagine. See, one thing I realized from doing these lives, when it comes to the women, we walk in different lanes. Women see shit totally different than us as men. At least as me, you know, because I just don't give a shit about much. But the women, oh boy, the way they see things, that's why I like doing the lives and listening to them, because I respect a woman's opinion and I respect the lens that they have and how they see the world and how they see things, in particular, how they see the situation of Claressa Shields, Papoose, and Remy, and the wisdom they've been able to impart to me since August of last year. So can you put number 12, the moral contradiction jacket, on Claressa Shields? And then number 13, how about this? Attacking people who aren't engaging back. Audiences often dislike when someone repeatedly targets individuals who appear uninterested, who just don't give a fuck about you, right? Or stay quiet, or avoid conflict publicly. It creates a perception of obsession or imbalance. Do you know anyone who seems to be obsessed with anybody that's created a perception of obsession, imbalance? Did Claressa show that, and does she still show that about any one particular person? Does the name la 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 Ali come to mind? Let me tell you something. Layla Ali ain't thinking about no damn Claressa Shields. But every chance she gets, she brings up the woman's name. Even Papoose, man, look. Y'all know I root for the guy, but I ain't rooting for that guy, man. Papoose went on. I was like trying to still give him the benefit of the doubt. Then he went on Vlad, and even he brought up Layla Ali and lied through them teeth, man. I said, yo, Papoose, whatever. Say whatever you're gonna say. Get your money off Claressa. But damn, my man, you went on here and just lied and shit. Even he did. That's when I said, whatever they say about this guy, they do it. Because obviously, I've always felt that he was the puppet master there and he was the shot caller. But now I'm 100% believe, he's the one that's like, Claressa, go this direction, go here, do this, say this. I believe that. I believe that. 100% I do. And I'm not saying that she's innocent. No, she's guilty too. But I think he's come in. I think his personality may be a bit stronger than hers. And he's the one who's gained her confidence, trust, her loyalty. And as a result, has been able to navigate her the way she's been moving. And it's been all losses, in my opinion. So can you put that jacket on her, attacking people who aren't engaging back? And then number 14, success magnifies negative traits. I've heard this before. You want to see how someone is? Give them some money. Give them some money and watch how they conduct themselves. And I do believe 100% success can make flaws more visible. I have friends, and I'm all right. And I'll tell you this. I had some friends who get a little bit of money, especially a little crypto thing. Everybody made a little bit of money and shit. And motherfuckers just lost their minds. And I was like, oh, that's how you move it and shit. You know what I mean? Just lost their minds, man. And the others, made a little bit of money. You would never know it. They ain't changed the way they live, nothing. Ain't buy no new car, nothing. They just chilling. Go outside, man, little t-shirt, shorts, chilling. Because that money don't make them. It just creates convenience. So success can make flaws more visible. You know what I mean? And you want to say why? Because power amplifies behavior. A rude, unknown person affects few people. You understand? A rude, unknown person affects few people. Then with Claressa, with the money that, I do believe she has some dope, a rude celebrity like Claressa affects millions emotionally. You understand? Because she's everywhere. And she's rude as hell, aggressive as hell. Has been taking it to the stoop for quite some time. And now we're all sitting here saying, damn, the negative trait's always been there. The money brought it out. Now you're getting people coming out here from, different family members, old friends. I don't want to just throw their names out there. But if y'all follow all the chaos, you know what I'm talking about. And they're talking about the same thing. This ain't nothing new. This is how she's always been. We've had people call in who are close to the source. We knew this was coming. We knew this was the kind of person she was. Y'all are just seeing it, and we warned people. So can you put number 14? Can you put this jacket, success magnifies negative traits, on Claressa? I got 5 more. Then I'm gonna jump off here, right? How about this? Number 15. People dislike feeling manipulated. This is another reason why she's hated. Audiences resist personalities they feel are emotionally manipulative. Does anyone feel Claressa can be emotionally manipulative? How about constantly trying to control narratives? And how about using outrage strategically? Because if you feel that way, there's probably a reason why your trust for anything she says or anything that she's doing has eroded. And it didn't happen overnight. It happened over time. And that's often what happens when you have somebody out here doing these things. People resist these kind of personalities. And that's what's happened to Claressa Shields. People are resisting her. You understand? Because they understand, she's famous. And as a result, that's created higher moral expectations. So number 15, can you put that jacket on her? Where you feel people now dislike her because if people feel like, she was trying to manipulate us. And number 16, her being famous, creating higher moral expectations. The more famous someone becomes, the more society expects leadership, discipline, maturity, and self-awareness. And whether fair or unfair, public standards rise with fame. Did Claressa's standards rise with her fame, or did they stay down in the weeds? That's a question. Because I 100%, I'm watching, and I'm not seeing the leadership. I'm not seeing the discipline. I'm not seeing the maturity. I'm not seeing the self-awareness. If she had self-awareness, she would have been, made the necessary corrections to get, I think, on the straight and narrow with her career, with fans, in every area of her life. A relationship, not seeing the maturity. The way she behaves, as a result, so many people like, she's a baby and she's just so young and she's so this. You can't bring that shit to me. Because at 31, I was 8 years away from retiring. You know what I'm saying? And at 31, the amount of things I've done. So I just can't listen to no one talk about no 31-year-old being just a baby. Hood champion, she's just a baby. Matter of fact, click off now, man. Go jump in the river butt naked with man-eating crocodiles. Swim across halfway, splash the water, attempt to tussle with one of them shits. And if you survive, get to the other side and come back on. But I'm pretty sure you won't make it. And I hope you don't make it across the river. Let that crocodile chomp your ass up if you think Claressa Shields at 31 is a baby. Ain't nobody out here 31 babies. Unless somebody been diagnosed with some kind of disability, mental disability, then it's different. But some people say, hold your horses, Hood. Because they got some people out here who've already diagnosed it. Now I ain't saying they qualify, but you read the comments. But what I will tell you is the way she conducting herself, the shit just is not normal. I've dealt with a lot of people. That shit ain't normal to me, man. So can you put that jacket on her where fans have expected as her fame rose for her standards to rise? And she didn't. She left them where they were, down in the weeds. The number 17, got 3 more left, right? Repetitive negativity damages energy. Has Claressa repeated a display of negative energy? Can you put the number 17 jacket on Claressa? Now, I notice one thing about negativity in the internet. Humans and the fans emotionally absorb this repeated energy. They do. And over time, people begin associating certain personalities with stress, conflict, tension, or emotional exhaustion. And once that happens, that affects likability deeply. You think about stress, conflict, tension, emotional exhaustion. I think about Claressa Shields. And if I feel that way, I know others do. And that's why I feel her likability has been deeply affected. And that's why there's so many people who just hate her right now. Last 2 is well, let me see. I got 3 more for you, right? I'm not gonna end it. I'll give you 3 more. You see this thing about perceived entitlement, where everybody was sitting here wondering how she been able to just run around here and act the way she's acting. We've heard somebody come on and talk about it. Ever since the amateur days, the Olympics, she's been allowed to get away with murder. And we've heard people come out here and talk about, hey, these are the rumors and the speculation that things she may have been involved with, right? And I ain't gonna say all that shit. If you following the Claressa Shields soap opera, you've heard of different things said. But I tell you what, people resent this perceived entitlement. When you have someone like a celebrity or someone who's famous, an athlete or whatever, people appear to believe that rules don't apply to them, or they feel like the rules shouldn't apply to them, or that, they shouldn't be criticized, or that because they're successful and they have certain things, they should be allowed to act any kind of way. Let me tell you something. When you have somebody out there, I call it I'm okay, you're not okay, when they're behaving like that, it does create a perception of some kind of entitlement when there are no consequences. And Claressa been out here firing hollow points and acting a fool for quite some time, and without consequence. But now there seem to be some kind of consequences, in play that could be coming her way. So can you put that number 18 jacket on Claressa Shields? That people like her are being resented because there's a perceived entitlement, which we still can't really understand. But then you think about the shit out there and with her taxes and other things that have come out. There could be some people in powerful places who are looking out for her. But as a result of her slapping Baumgartner, there's some people in powerful places who ain't trying to hear no more of her bullshit and are tired of her. And I'm gonna just tell y'all, man, like I told y'all the other day, strap in your seatbelt, get your popcorn out. And people are like, what do you mean? I'm like, you just watch and we're seeing what's happening. It's already, the energy's already shifting. You know what I mean? Shit's shifting. You know why? Because social media intensifies everything. And that's number 19, man. You look at this internet culture, emotional reactions, conflict, outrage, division. And I think Claressa, I do think she accidentally trapped herself inside constant controversy cycles. Because I think she felt she would just come out here and say something and do something and then go on and then go to the next thing and that would be it. I don't think she expected for her to post something and while she's going live or post a video, people screen recording it. So when she gets done, she doesn't expect to see it again. Then all of a sudden it's all across the internet going viral. So I do think when she's out here doing these lives or interviews or whatever she's done, I think she was looking for some emotional reactions. She wanted some conflict, some outrage. She wanted to create division because she was looking for virality. But as a result, she's, I think, inadvertently trapped herself in a constant controversy cycle. So that jacket of social media intensifies everything. I'm gonna tell you, you can definitely put that on Claressa Shields because she said, "I'm the algorithm. I'm gonna own the internet," and she has. That's what she said about this year. It almost seemed like and I'm paraphrasing, but it seemed like that's a New Year resolution for her to own the internet. Well, you have. You have the whole world talking about you, even on Jeopardy. They got a question on Jeopardy about her and trying to harass Muhammad Ali's daughter and who is Layla Ali and shit. Crazy that shit made it. Like, that is crazy. So people are laughing. I laugh too, but I also understand this shit is much, much bigger than content creator. I keep telling y'all, people out here trying to blame content creator. Let me tell you something. Every single content creator talking about Claressa, people, leave them alone. Let the content creators create content. Let them talk about Claressa Shields. Because that's what she wanted. And let me be honest with you. When you see that shit on Jeopardy, you better stop and think. What the F is really going on here? This shit is bigger than the internet. But that's what she wanted. She wanted the attention. Well, now she's got it. And then lastly, but not least, is number 20. People eventually prioritize character over talent. And I think we can definitely put that jacket on her and what's going on with her, you know what I'm saying? Nobody cares about her talent anymore. It's her character that we're paying attention to. And history repeatedly shows talent alone rarely protects public image forever. Even with me, I know I was following, I was like, maybe, well, she could this, and there may be some hope, a sliver of hope, somebody's daughter. Then I just realized after, I don't know, it was Layla again? I don't know. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I think when she was making fun of Shadesha. And she was doing, her and when Shadesha got knocked out and she was making fun of her and all that. That's when I said, I have no hope for this chick. I have no expectation. That's when I was like, and that's why now people say whatever they want to say. I ain't got nothing to say. I've always noticed that she could be a kind of way, but I never thought she would have been that low. Disrespect Muhammad Ali was bad. Going at Layla was bad. But when you got someone like Franchon, who was a friend, and for her to do that to her at the weigh-in, and then someone like Shadesha, who was someone who they were able to kind of, bury the hatchet and reconnect. And to know that she see this woman fall off the stool, unconscious in the ring, and laugh at her. I just said, yo, whatever comes Claressa's way, comes Claressa's way. You know what I'm saying? Because that's crazy to me. And that's when you saw someone like me say, all right, Forget the talent, forget the accomplishments. We got to really focus on that character. But that's why I said talent alone rarely protects public image forever. Eventually, people are going to just ask, just like I asked, and a lot of y'all were asking a long time ago, do I respect this person or are they just talented? And I think that shift often determines whether admiration survives long term. With Claressa, there's still a concentric few that admire her and gonna ride or die with her, But when you hear a lot of them speak, I think you can understand why. Because a lot of them cuss and carry on and are just as ignorant as she can be. They disrespect Layla Ali, they'll disrespect Muhammad Ali, they'll disrespect Shadesha. They disrespect anything and everything, you know what I'm saying? And that's just, my experience with dealing with a lot of Claressa Shields supporters. They're loud, they're obnoxious, they're ignorant, and they have tunnel vision and they lack comprehension. So, can you put that jacket on her? People eventually prioritize character over talent, and her character has. Many people feel that her character is needs to be overhauled because it's overshadowed her talent, and that's not a good thing. But at the end of the day, right? Just talking about all this, I think there's one important thing to understand is the public backlash, like what we're seeing with Claressa. I think is usually emotional before logical. Fans emotionally react to energy, tone, consistency, morality, empathy, and behavior patterns. But when enough negative patterns accumulate, audiences begin emotionally disconnecting from a public figure like Claressa Shields, even if they still respect the talent. And I would say that applies to me. Because I understand boxing like a lot of you, I know how hard that shit is. I go every morning at 8:30 and work out. I know how hard it is. So to see these fighters and someone like Claressa doing it on the level she's doing it, I respect the talent. But there's definitely an emotional disconnect from her as the individual. You know what I'm saying? And it's been that way for a while, but it's really after that Shadesha Green stuff. That's what I said, ain't no hope for her. Franchon, was like, all right, that wasn't cool. But that Shadesha Green shit, that was crazy. Anybody who respects or associates with anyone who's disrespected Shadesha Green, when Shadesha Green, knowing that she had the bleeding on her brain, I don't see how y'all could even associate with that person, man. Anybody out here who's in a life or death situation and make light of it, to me, that motherfucker's trash. And that's how I feel about Claressa doing that to Shadesha. It could have been anyone. If Claressa was the one that had bleeding on the brain, I'd say the same thing. You understand? Because bleeding on the brain is serious shit. There's nothing funny. They're like, to me, there's nothing funny about that. Y'all know who Pritchard Cologne is, don't you? Matter of fact, you know who Zab Judah is, don't you? Ask Zab what he thinks about that. The man had bleeding on the brain too. See, a lot of y'all don't know that. So that's some serious shit, man. But again, man, when you have a lot of negative patterns accumulate, people don't want to mess with you. It is what it is. And it's become even more intense, day by day. But it's really been impactful because Claressa Shields is an athlete. You know what I'm saying? I listened to, y'all, this is what really got me. Listening to the old heads call in. 75 to 85 years old. 82, I think, is the oldest player. 82, 85. An old head called in. A bunch of them have called in. And they're just like, man, they expect so much from Claressa. You know what I'm saying? And I listen to them because even when I had the conversation, they talk about what they experienced when they were growing up. To see Claressa doing what she's doing, it's like they never would have imagined, something like that. Even they touch about like Obama becoming president. I mean, to just when old heads talk, I definitely shut up and listen because I know that they see life through a different lens, and a lot of them were very disappointed in Claressa Shields. You know what I mean? That's why they emotionally disconnected from her because they just saw that the negative pattern just accumulating. And for her as an athlete, I just think fans, young and old, they project, they want for these athletes to project inspiration, morality, discipline, and, heroism. And that's why controversies involving violence, bullying, hypocrisy, arrogance, or moral contradiction, things that have been surrounding Claressa Shields, have generated a much stronger reaction than it would for, I'm going to say you or I, because I'm assuming that we're just, just common people out here chilling, living day to day. But I do understand there are a lot of people who watch this video who are athletes, who are, I would say, are famous. I know that for a fact. I have an idea. There are a couple people who watch the video, and I get things that come my way, like, you know who this is in your chat, or you know who this is, or hey, I listen to you, and it's cool. But I think even they would say, now there's some truth to that, man. We do get stronger reactions than just ordinary people. And that makes sense. And to me, I don't get offended over something like that, because I do consider myself ordinary. I like being ordinary. I don't want to be out there. I don't want to be famous. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that shit. Life is good. I'm cool like this. But before I get off, 51 minutes I've been running my big mouth. Yeah, time for me to get the hell off of here. But I'll say this, man, and I'll give it to you in like a final big picture. Okay? When I look at Claressa Shields, I think there's a larger lesson here. And I'm going to make this simply about her, because it's not one athlete or celebrity, but this is about her, so we're going to keep the conversation surrounding Claressa Shields. I try to understand the human psychology about all this crap, because I watched Claressa when she turned pro, and how people were admiring her strength, admiring her confidence, admiring her ambition, her authenticity, understanding her story. There was even one person I talked to, man. It was two in particular. I remember one was a woman. She was crying, and then there was a guy. And I don't want to disrespect the dude, but he was crying and shit, man. You know how proud he was. Claressa getting 2 gold medals, and he was saying a whole lot of shit, but I couldn't take that dude seriously. I was like, yo, my man, you crying because you so happy that she won 2 gold medals. I mean, snot and shit slinging. I was like, I had to get the fuck up out of there. I couldn't listen to this dude. But that has nothing to do with this. It's just let me just say this before I get out of here, right? Because I'm about to start making jokes, and I don't want to do that. But I'm telling you, that dude was crying. Even my son was laughing. We respect the man's emotion, but my son, man, he can't. That dude, he a teenager, they laugh at everything, and he's over there going. Then I start doing it, and then it was all bad. But generally, people admire Claressa's strength, her confidence, her ambition, her authenticity. But when those qualities became mixed with her showing cruelty, humiliation, instability, obsession, hypocrisy, nonstop aggression, that admiration transformed into rejection. And she's been rejected. I can't help but think about, what jumps out to me when I think about Claressa Shields? Not just the gold medals, not just the world titles and all that, not the fact that she can fight. Out of everything I've heard about her and things that she said, right, I'm taking everything into consideration. The one thing that, I'll just tell you what jumps out to me. The Layla Ali obsession and trying to weaponize her father's name against her to force her into a fight. That thing about the Christmas toy giveaway. I really don't like that. You understand? I don't like that. I know other people feel a kind of way about the relationship. Y'all know I don't care about that goddamn relationship. It's interesting to me, but I don't care. Whatever they do, fuck it, I don't care. But that thing about that Christmas giveaway, I just couldn't imagine, boy. I just can't do it. I don't care, man, if you're somebody who out here running your mouth about me, man, and when I see you, I may want to I'm not talking like that, but I may want to do something to your ass. You show up with children, I'm going to take care of them children. I'm going to take care of the children. You know what I'm saying? Once I take care of the kids, like y'all need to go ahead, y'all roll up out of here now. But ain't nowhere in the world during Christmas time I would do that to children and then go online and brag about it and talk about who may be homeless, who's not homeless, who have, who don't have, and be, boasting about kicking a family out of a Christmas toy giveaway. Ain't no way. So those two things really, really, and then the Shadesha Green thing. But I've seen the other stuff where she, cussing, trying to get the child to cuss and cussing around the child, and I seen her talking about slapping kids in the back of the head, niece and nephews in the back of the head. I listen to all that. The things with kids would stick out to me. Adults and adults, hey, two adults want to be jackasses, go ahead, be jackasses. But those are the things that stick out to me. Now, I know for you all, everyone's going to have things that bother them more, but those things really rub me wrong. Especially that thing about the Christmas toy giveaway. I wasn't feeling that. But I'll say this, man, fame magnifies greatness. And that's why I think we can still sit here and say we respect her as a fighter, but also magnifies your flaws. And I think that's why some public figures like Claressa at one point in time was a beloved icon. But then it seems like now people just want her to go on and become a cautionary tale because of all the negativity and destruction she's caused with fans, despite her extraordinary talent as a fighter. Anyway, those are my reasons on why Big Gold is hated. And I do believe that she's hated. You don't believe me? Well, they got a goddamn petition to revoke her boxing license. You don't do that because you're loved. People don't do that because they love you. I'm in the breeze.